Alright, sub-story in time. This one's pretty neat. It introduces a new Kiryu specific mini game. Seems like each character in this game has their own like little mini game that they can do. We're back at Tamasa where him and Nakajima went on their night out drinking. And he's just like, oh, I should just go in and check it out.
Yes, I.
And we didn't really get introduced to this guy, but you know, he was the guy who ran the place while we were there. And he recognizes Kiryu. He's just like, oh, you're the guy who's with Nakajima. Like, I know Nakajima really well. He's here all the time. He's a great customer, and he talks about you a lot. And he's just like, yeah, I've got a really good guy who works for me. He's got a really serious face. And the guy's like, yeah, well, seeing you, I can tell that you've got a really serious face. Man, that Nakajima guy wasn't lying. Anyways, Kitty was like, oh, sorry about that. And the guy's like, hey, don't apologize. Anyways, he's always coming here. He's awesome, and I want to give thanks. So, yeah, and he's always praising you.
Yep.
And he offers Kiryu to treat Kiryu to dinner. Well, it is kind of like a ramen shop, so that's cool. And he'd ask what you want, and well, I'll have ramen because I'm in a ramen stall. Like, what the hell else am I gonna have? But then he asked a different question. He asked like, how hard do you want your noodles? Like, you want them soft? Do you want them hard? And Kiryu's like, hardness? Like, what the hell? And he's just like, yeah, like, well, here we serve the noodles in our ramen. They can be like really super hard, or they can be super soft, and anywhere in between. And that's part of what you ask for when you order. Anyways, like he recommends, I believe, yeah, body kata very hard. I think body is being like a little word for very there. He's like, oh, here comes an order of very hard. Watch him enjoy.
Hey.
He asked Kitty how it was. And he says like, oh yeah, it was pretty good. He talks about how the hardness of the noodles like really added to it. And Kiryu's like, oh, well, how much do I owe you? And the guy's like, hey, Suzuki, like, come on, man, like, didn't I tell you how much I like Nakajima? Of course, you're gonna have it for free. He was like, no, man, like, play. And the guy's like, no, it's fine. He was like, but wait, I wanna. And the guy's like, hey, fucking calm down, man. Like, I told you to pay, and oh, problem. Uh-oh, he's having some problems. I believe it's his hip, or it might be his stomach. I think it's hip. I'm not too sure. I can't really read that kanji that well. I'm dumb. But regardless, he's having a health problem right now. And he's saying, Kiryu's like, well, come on, man, let's get you to the hospital. And the guy's like, I can't. The big hour's coming. The Death Niagara. The Desu Niagara. Not to be confused with the Desu Niagara, which is what you saw on 4chan a lot 6 years ago. But yeah, this is like the biggest earning time of the day for this place. And he can't like leave because, you know, he's going to be missing out. So he thinks of a plan. He's like, Suzuki, do you mind giving me a hand? And like, yeah, everything's been made already, all the noodles and all the broth. Really, all Kiryu's going to have to be done is just, you know, putting the noodles in the broth, cooking into the desired thickness of the desired hardness of the customer. So yeah, that's pretty much all he's going to have to do. And Kiryu thinks to himself like, wow, Nakajima's in tight with this guy. I should give him a hand. And people are coming in now. Time for Kiryu to step up to the plate. Well, I don't know if that was necessary, but yeah. And the guy's like, "Wow, that looks suitsy, man." And get ready to fight. It's really easy from the beginning, so it's going to be easy to talk. They show out their order, and based on what they say, you just got to let the meter fill up to that area. And, wow, I fucked up that. Wow, this isn't off to a good start, but yeah. The guy asked for Bediawa, very soft. The guy wants Futsu, which is just normal. And once the meter is up to the certain area, you just hit the button that's mapped to, and then you serve the ramen. Now, I didn't say this before, but during the course of this mini game, you're going to be serving 50 people. And if it was like that rate the entire time, it would be really, really slow and boring. As you can imagine, it kind of ramps up pretty quickly. There's about, I forget how many levels, 4, 5. Anyways, you do 5 for the first, 10 for the second, I believe about 20 for... Whoa, oh, anyways, that's each stage is done. The speed ramps up a lot. It's pretty easy for this part. I forget what that one is, well, how to translate that one, but you notice I'm building up a combo meter. That's really big and big factor of what your score is going to be at the end. The higher the combo you get, the higher the score. I mean, this mini game isn't like too hard. Like when I played the game for the first time, I actually like got the required score to wipe it off my completion list. And well, I was kind of bummed because I thought this was fun. I've been trying it again recently, and I've been sucking. I haven't been able to get very far. Like as soon as I get to like the next level, I just fall on my damn face. So well, yeah, 15 customers to go for this one. Yeah, I'll probably be talking less and less as this goes on. Yeah, as you can imagine, the big challenge from this comes like later on when people are shouting on like multiple orders at once. We've got to keep track of all of them and where the meter is. Like you can get a guy that's shouting for Yawa, which is like on the top, and then you'll have like a bunch of other guys calling out for like the hardest noodles possible. And because of that, like the hardest noodles possible will fill in like a lot faster than the other ones. So you got to keep those on and just keep an eye on the soft one and hit the button at the appropriate time. Cool, I managed to get all those guys. That's not going to last for long. Alright, I think, yeah, when I said, yeah, crap, I know it already. When I said 50 customers, I should have said 100, because, yeah, that's really what it is. So, oh man. Oh man. Can't you just tell these assholes to wait? Good lord. Well, not out of the woods yet. Time for it to decrease to the hardest stage. Oh god. Woo. Yeah, it's getting really hard to keep track of these. Oh, I just figured out a new trick. If you pay attention to the bottom of the screen with the dialogue balloons there, once it reaches the appropriate level, the thing will go, the thing will turn pink, and that's your cue to hit the button. Wow, I wish I knew that before. Things you learn every day. Still, it doesn't matter if you're freaking slow on the draw like I am. Yeah, the farther you go, the more you learn to hate the guy who wants things like really soft. Well, it's definitely not my best showing, but not so bad. So yeah, you'll get your point, and holy shit, I actually got the highest rank. Wow! This is the best day ever. I did 89 customers out of 100, got a consecutive rate of 30, and now I am the Noodle King. So yeah, he's really pleased with how you did. I don't know what happens if you suck or anything, if he like freaks out at you or anything, because I've never messed up. Anyways, he's just like, well, what about what happened to you, man? And the guy's like, oh really? Oh that, yeah. Well, just seeing you work, man, that made me feel a whole lot better. It looks like I'm fixed. And Kiryu's like, oh, really? Like, was this all like just a gambit to get Kiryu to do his job for him while he just sat on his ass? But regardless, he's gonna pay you for your efforts. Weehaw! Yeah, the amount of money you get is based on the rank you get at the end. Anyways, he just says, go talk to Nakajima again. And yeah, you can come back here and do it anytime you want, because you were so awesome. Level up. So let's just take a look at the completion list. Oh yeah, look at that. Got the highest rank for the Noodle thing, and I am done that. Never have to touch it again.